Now let's take a look at deep installs with panel block systems. When trench depths exceed 46 inches, we have to think outside the box as how we're going to provide oxygen to the system so that we maintain aerobic breakdown. There are two different ways that we do this. The first is using venting. So when we vent a panel block system, we install the panel blocks deep into the soil profile, and we then want to bring vent pipes up to ground surface to provide added oxygen availability to the system. We do this by placing a vent at the beginning and end of each line of a panel block system when it exceeds 46 inches. We can do this by cutting the connection pipe in between the first panel and the second panel in half, and then placing a 2-inch T if it was a vertical install, or if you're doing a horizontal install, 1.5 T. We'll then pipe from the T up to ground surface with either 2-inch or 1.5 PVC depending on what orientation you're installing. Once we're to ground surface, we want to cover it with an irrigation cover or a valve box cover and make sure that it has some small holes in it to provide oxygen to the system, but not allow a lot of debris or water to enter the system unnecessarily. If we see that surface waters might enter this vent pipe, we would want to landscape around it to shed the water away from this venting site. The second way that we deal with deep installations with panel blocks is to use additional backfill sand underneath the panel blocks. Panel blocks are to be installed with at least 6 inches of backfill sand underneath them. So adding additional backfill sand only adds to the storage capacity and treatment of the system. If we have a deep install, we can then add additional backfill sand and bring the panels up in the soil profile to a more oxygenated area. This provides good oxygen to the panels for aerobic breakdown, but allows the effluent to seep through the multiple layers of sand and get into a more permeable horizon in the soil profile.